Hello students, welcome to the video class for Power Electronics and PLC. And this video or this subject is for the 5th semester Electrical and Electronics Diploma Engineering students. Okay, so today's topic is the Power MOSFET. So power MOSFET is a power semiconductor device like we studied before, like power diode, thyristor, power BJT. Okay, so under this topic, in this topic we will cover the constructional operational details of power MOSFET. Then we will study about its static characteristics, switching characteristics. Under static characteristics we will cover input characteristics, output characteristics, and under switching characteristics we will study how the parameters of this device will change during turn on and turn off. Okay, so and then we are able to know the applications of power MOSFET device. Applications means where these devices are used, what are the voltage, current, power rating of this type of semiconductor device. Okay, hello students, today's topic is power MOSFET. MOSFET means mainly the metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor, MOSFET. And MOSFET is developed by combining the technique of field effect concept and MOS technology. From the field effect concept and MOS technology, metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor is developed. That is MOSFET. So here we will study power MOSFET. So power MOSFET has means MOSFET is same as the previous MOSFET which you studied in the analog subject. Here the extra term, that is power, is here before this MOSFET word. Power means here the MOSFET means it is developed by combining the field effect concept in MOS technology, and its working principle is electronic principle, but it's rated at power level. That's why the power term is added. Okay, the power MOSFET has three terminals, mainly drain, gate, source. See here, power MOSFET has three terminals: drain, gate, source. And in the previous class we already studied about the power BJT. Power BJT has three terminal: collector, emitter, base. But here drain, gate, source. Okay, the circuit symbol for power MOSFET is this one. This is the symbolic representation for power MOSFET. Here this arrow indicates the direction of flow of electron. Okay, this arrow indicates the direction of flow of electron. And if we compare BJT and MOSFET, see, BJT is the current control device. That means in BJT the base signal, the control signal, is the current signal. That's why BJT is called as current control device. But in case of power MOSFET, it is a voltage control device. Okay, because here control signal is gate source voltage, VGS. This is the control signal in case of power MOSFET. So it is a voltage control device. Okay, and in case of MOSFET, its operation depends upon the flow of majority carriers only. Okay, that's why MOSFET is a unipolar device. See, BJT is a bipolar device because BJT operation depends upon the flow of both holes and electrons, but here its operation depends upon only the flow of majority carriers. That's why it is a unipolar device. Okay, so you have to make note about difference between BJT and MOSFET by yourself. Okay, whatever the differences I told here, or I am telling, or I will tell in the next part also. So you have to note down all the difference points, all the differences between BJT and MOSFET, and you have to note down. It is a very most important long question. Okay, so in case of BJT, it is a current control device, whereas MOSFET is a voltage control device. BJT bipolar device, MOSFET unipolar device. Okay, and in BJT the control signal is the base current, and in MOSFET the control signal is gate source voltage. Okay. uh, so the control signal or the base current in BJT is much larger than the control signal required in MOSFET. Okay, when we apply gate source voltage across gate and source terminal, then there is a flow of current. Okay, that we can call it as a gate current. So the base current in BJT is much larger as compared to the gate current in MOSFET. Why? Because the gate circuit impedance in MOSFET is extremely high. Okay, so here is another reference point, that is the input impedance. Okay, the input impedance for BJT is low, and the input impedance, that is the gate circuit impedance in MOSFET, is high. Okay, that impedance which is very high, that is the gate circuit impedance, that is the input circuit impedance, that is mainly of the order of 10 to the power 9 ohm. Okay, so this large impedance permits the MOSFET gate to be driven directly from microelectronic circuit. Okay, and another difference, main difference, is the BJT suffers from second breakdown voltage. I already shown you in the BJT output characteristics. This is the breakdown region. So in case of BJT, there has a breakdown region. Okay, but in case of MOSFET is free from this problem. In case of MOSFET, there is no breakdown region. Okay, so I told you different points regarding the difference between BJT and MOSFET. Okay, see, this MOSFET is free from the secondary breakdown voltage problem. That's why power MOSFET has increase in applications in low power high frequency converters. Okay, it has higher or increasing number of applications in low power and high frequency converters. So this is this is the structural diagram of the N-channel enhancement type power MOSFET. It is the N-channel enhancement type power MOSFET. Actually, power MOSFET has the two types of power MOSFET are of two types, that is N-channel enhancement MOSFET and P-channel enhancement MOSFET. Already you know in the previous semester subject analog, where you studied about the MOSFET types, that is N-channel, P-channel, enhancement type MOSFET, etc. So here commonly used type MOSFET is the enhancement type MOSFET, where N-channel, P-channel are two types. We will study it by taking the N-channel enhancement type MOSFET, because it is more commonly used. Why it is more commonly used? Because it has higher mobility of electrons. N-channel enhancement type MOSFET has higher mobility of electrons. That's why this type of MOSFET is used in every applications. Okay, so the structural diagram of the N-channel MOSFET, and it is used for low power high frequency applications. Okay, see what is there in this constructional diagram. There is one p substrate body, and in this p substrate body, two heavily doped N plus regions are diffused. This is the N plus layer. N plus layer plus means this is heavily doped, highly doped N layer. It is also highly doped N layer. So in p substrate body, two heavily doped N regions are diffused. Okay, and then one insulating layer is there, that is the insulating layer is of silicon dioxide, which is grown over this surface. Okay, this is the SiO2 layer, silicon dioxide layer. It is an insulating layer. Now what happened? Now this insulating layer is etched, or this insulating layer is embedded with metallic terminals. This is a metallic terminal, this is a metallic terminal, this is a metallic terminal. Okay, these metallic terminals form drain terminal, gate terminal, source terminal. Okay, here the N plus region makes contact with the source and the drain terminal. See, over this SiO2 or insulating layer, metallic terminals are etched, and then from this metallic terminal, drain source, gate source, uh, drain terminal, gate terminal, source terminal are taken, and here the drain terminal metallic part directly connected with the N plus region. Similarly, the S terminal, source terminal, connected with the N plus region through this metallic path or metallic body. Okay, so the drain terminal is directly connected to the N plus region through this metallic body. Here also source terminal is connected to this N plus region through this metallic body. Okay, and gate terminal is here. Over there, from this metallic region, the terminal which is connected to this metallic body over this SiO2 layer, this terminal is the gate terminal. So okay, then see what happens. What is this? What is the operation of this structural diagram? See, when the gate circuit is open, that means initially let us assume that there is no gate source voltage. We are not applying any kind of voltage between gate and source. That means this circuit is open now initially. Okay, so when gate source or this gate circuit is open, there is no gate source voltage, there is no current flows from. If there is no gate source voltage, then gate source circuit is open. Once this circuit is open, there is no current flows from drain to source. Okay, no current flows from drain to source. This arrow shows the flow of electron, direction of flow of electron. If the direction of flow of electron is this way, that means current flow direction is in this way. ID, this is the drain to source current represented by ID. So once this gate circuit is open, there is no such current flowing from drain to source. Okay, and the load, and there is no current flows through this load. Okay, because one reverse bias N plus P junction. See, this is plus, this is minus in this circuit, drain, gate, source terminal. Okay, in between drain to source there is R load, this is a load. Okay, and this is the supply source VDD. Once the positive terminal is connected to drain and negative terminal is connected to source. See, this drain terminal is connected to this N plus region through this metallic body. Here also this source terminal connected to this N plus region through metallic body. So once positive terminal is connected here and negative terminal is connected here, see, positive means this N plus P junction, this is the junction J, let it be J1. Okay, and here also this is a junction, let it be J2. Okay, so if minus is connected to this N plus region, that means this junction, this totally, this part forms a junction J2, and this junction is forward biased. Okay, but this N plus is connected to this plus terminal. That's why this N plus and P, this J1 junction, this junction is the reverse bias junction. Okay, so due to this reverse bias, due to this N plus P reverse bias junction, what happens? There is no current flowing from drain to source. Okay, so now we apply control signal. And in case of MOSFET, control signal is the voltage signal, that means gate source voltage VGS. Now I apply okay, this is VGS. Okay, when gate is made positive with respect to source, an electric field is established. See, this is the electric field. Okay, because see, this is a metallic body and this is P plus substrate, that means it is a conducting body, it is also a conducting body. So the upper layer and here also this layer, this forms a conducting layer and this forms a conducting layer, and in between two conducting layers there is one SiO2 insulating material. That means it behaves like a capacitor characteristics. Two metallic plates, and in between the two metallic plates there is one insulating medium. Okay, so here also this is one metallic layer, it is also conducting layer, it is also one conducting layer, then in between these two conducting layers there is insulating medium. Okay, so once gate is made positive with respect to source, so if the gate terminal is positive, then its opposite polarity charge or field is developed here. Okay, so if here negative field is developed, then the opposite polarity of this negative charge is the positive polarity field. So once first here negative charge field is created, and then after that one positive charge field is developed. Okay, so eventually induced negative charges in the P substrate below SiO2 layer are formed. Okay, so due to this electric field, another layer of charge is induced in this P substrate layer. Okay, so due to this charge field here, if this field is positive, that means its opposite field is negative, so that here a negative field charge is induced in this P plus P substrate. Okay, so this induced negative charges formed N channel. Okay, this induced negative charge in the P substrate below this SiO2 layer called electrons. Okay, and it forms a N channel, and current can flow from drain to source. See, once this here electric field developed after applying gate source voltage, and then due to this electric field here induced charges are developed in P substrate layer below the SiO2 layer. See, the reason where the electric field is developed in the SiO2 layer, just below that only the induced charges are developed. Okay, and here the induced charges are here. These induced charges are now electrons, and due to these induced charges, now it will form one N channel. How it is an N channel? See, this is N plus, this is N plus, and these are the electrons. So this is a complete N channel path. And once N channel path is created, now current can flow through this path. Current can flow from drain to source through this N channel. Okay. Okay, this current is ID. This is drain to source current. Okay. See, this arrow mark represent the direction of flow of current. Okay, here, and in the symbol here also, see, this arrow mark represents the direction of flow of current from drain to source, and this arrow mark represents the flow of electron. If the current flow in this direction, that means electron flow in this direction. The flow of electron direction is opposite to the current direction. Okay. So if VGS is made more positive, N channel becomes more deep and more current flows from drain to source. Okay, if I increase this VGS value, then the depth of this N channel becomes more, and once this channel depth becomes more, then more current flows from drain to source. So this shows that the drain current ID is enhanced by gradual increase of gate voltage. Okay, that's why it is named as enhancement type MOSFET. See, if we increase this VGS gate circuit voltage, then the N channel width or the depth of N channel enhanced or increased. More VGS, more the depth of the N channel. That's why this type of MOSFET is the N channel MOSFET. Okay, and see this structural representation or this configuration of power MOSFET is mainly used for low power applications and high frequency applications. So what are the disadvantages of this N channel MOSFET? See, its disadvantages, main disadvantages is that conducting N channel in between drain and source gives large on state resistance, and this leads to high power dissipation in N channel. Okay, this shows that the N channel planar MOSFET construction, it is only reliable feasible it is only feasible for low power MOSFET. Why? See, while conducting this N channel MOSFET, there is in between the drain and source there is a large on state resistance. How? See here, this is the path of the N channel. There is some length in between of this N channel. Okay, so if I increase this VGS, then the depth of N channel also increases, and while conducting this N channel MOSFET, there is large on state resistance. See, due to this channel length, it's what? See, R is equal to rho L by A. Okay, so if the N channel, whatever the depth is, the depth of this N channel, that is gradually increasing by the process of conduction, by the process of conducting of this N channel MOSFET, the N channel between this drain and source has the greater depth, and due to this length there is development of large on state resistance. See, if length increases, then resistance also increases. If length increases, then resistance also increases. So if the length of this N channel is large and depth is also large, so due to this length and depth, there is a formation of large on state resistance, and due to the large on state resistance, this leads to high power dissipation. Okay, due to this problem, this type of structure or this type of MOSFET configuration is only reliable or feasible for low power application. Okay, so to use the MOSFET in high power applications, we need to do some modification in this constructional part. Okay, so in the next part we will do some modifications in this structure. Okay, so in the next part we will discuss about the high power MOSFET. Okay, high power application MOSFET. We will discuss the basic structure for N channel power MOSFET, which is used for high power application. This is the basic structure of N channel power MOSFET, but this is only feasible for low power application. See, this is the constructional details of high power MOSFET. So this high power MOSFET is quite similar with the low power MOSFET. See how much similarity is there and what are the differences is there. So here, first of all, one n plus substrate is there. Okay, and over this n plus substrate layer, metal layer is deposited. One metal layer is there. From this metal layer, one terminal is out, that is the, this is the drain terminal. And over this n plus substrate, there is a high resistivity n minus layer, which is epitaxially grown over this n plus substrate. Okay, the thickness of n minus layer determines the voltage blocking capability of this device. Okay, the thickness of this n minus layer means if its thickness is greater, then the voltage blocking capability of this device is greater. If the thickness of this n minus layer is less, then the voltage blocking capability of this device is less. Okay, so then what, uh, this is the over this other n, this is the n plus substrate. One side we will grow, epitaxially grow the n minus layer, and the other side we will, what we will do, one metal layer is deposited which forms drain terminal. Okay, then over this n minus, high resistivity n minus layer, now p minus region, p minus region, this is p minus region, p minus region. So p minus regions are diffused in this n minus layer. That means over this n minus layer, again p minus layer is epitaxially grown. Okay, then further what, further n minus, further over this p plus region, n plus regions are diffused. First of all n plus substrate, then n minus layer is epitaxially grown, and over this n minus layer p minus regions are diffused, then over this p minus region n plus regions are diffused. Okay, so as before what we did in low power MOSFET, here also over this layer, SiO2 layer is added. This is the SiO2 layer. Okay, SiO2, silicon dioxide layer, it is an insulating layer. Then what happens, then here is also one metallic layer is deposited. Here is also one metallic layer is deposited, and over this SiO2 surface another one metallic layer is deposited, and the terminal from this is source. From here also the terminal is source, and from this the terminal is gate. Okay, here the source terminal is connected with this n plus, p minus, n plus through this metallic surface. Here also source terminal is connected with this n plus and p minus layer through this metallic surface. Okay, now what happened, see, here the metallic layers are embedded which form source terminal and gate terminal. Now what we do, we connect voltage source VDD in between drain and source through this load. Okay, and then another one is the gate source circuit. In between gate source circuit there is also connection of VGS voltage. Okay, so at first when there is no gate circuit voltage, that means this part is, when this part is open, there is no voltage supply between gate and source. Then what happens, VDD is only present, present, positive terminal is connected to this drain terminal, negative terminal is connected to this source because gate is open. So see, when this negative terminal is connected to this source, through this metallic layer, this n plus p minus junction, n plus p minus junction, n plus p minus, n plus p minus junction is forward biased. But this n minus p, because this source terminal are connected to this layer also through this metallic part. So here once negative terminal is connected to this and this, then p minus, n minus junction are reverse biased. Okay, that means this junction is reverse bias and this junction is reverse bias. That's why there is no current flows from drain to source. Okay, there is no current flows from drain to source. So now when we apply positive voltage source across this gate terminal, when gate terminal is now made positive, okay, this is VGS positive negative. So now when the gate terminal is made positive with respect to source, an electric field is established here. Okay, as the before whatever I said in the low power MOSFET, same happened here. When gate is made positive with respect to source, one, this is a conducting layer, this is a conducting layer, forms a two, and in between these two conducting layer there is a insulating medium. So if we made gate positive with respect to source, then due to this positive, here first negative field developed, then by this negative field then the respective positive fields are developed. Okay, so now under this field, under this SiO2 field part, under this whatever P minus regions is there, this is now, this is the P minus region, this is P minus region. So under this SiO2 layer where the field is developed, under this only there is formation of N channel. There is again formation of the charge carrier. Okay, and this charge carrier are called electrons, and this form a N channel. How? Cn plus, and this is N minus, and here the charges, electrons. So this forms one N channel. Again this is N plus, here electrons, this is N minus layer, so it also form another N channel. So when gate terminal is made positive with respect to source, an electric field, this is the electric field, is established, and electrons form N channel in the P minus region. See, in the P minus region, here electrons form, here also electrons form. So through this N channel, now current can flow from drain to source. How? See, this is the reverse bias, but here N channel forms means now there is a path for the flow of current from drain to source. Here also current can flow from like this. Okay, drain to source, current can flow like this. Okay, so this is the direction of flow of drain current IT. Clear? So with gate voltage increased, that means if we increase this voltage, current ID also increases. And here the length of N channel can be controlled, and so on state resistance can be made low. That means here the length of this N channel is short. See, in the previous construction, the length of this N channel is greater, maximum. That's why due to the greater length there is large on state resistance. Due to the large on state resistance, there is high power dissipation during the conduction. But here the length of N channel is minimized. So hence the length of this N channel is minimized. The on state resistance is also decreases, and once the on state resistance decreases, that means here the power dissipation during conduction is also low. That's why this type of structure is mainly used for high power application, because in case of high power application, so due to this short length of the N channel, there is less amount of power dissipate during the conduction. Okay, so here the conduction is mainly due to the majority carrier. See, due to the N channel, and that means in N channel majority carrier means electrons. Okay, so this is the total constructional details and operational details of the high power MOSFET. So this represent to you the high power MOSFET. So whenever in examination you have asked questions for low power MOSFET, draw and explain the low power MOSFET, or if in examination questions asked draw and explain the high power MOSFET, so you particularly draw this one for high power application. This is the MOSFET structure for high power application, and the previous one is the MOSFET structure for low power application. Okay.